Okay, so just to recap what we discussed yesterday. We read this article about Prince Henry the Navigator and how he could be, by some, credited as being the one that discovered America. Who were the other two people that they talk about in the article that typically get the credit? Addison? Very good. The Vikings and Christopher Columbus. So what the author did in the article is she came back and she talked about why those two people, or for the Vikings, groups of people, should not get the credit. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to use our reading and what we highlighted to answer the questions on the back. So I'm going to have you again, just like I had you do yesterday, I'm going to have you write sample at the top. Because when you get to the point where you're about to have a quiz or a test or you're doing an independent practice like today, you are going to want to have this and remember that this is a practice to look at when you are studying. Okay, so we have number 1. What is the author's viewpoint from the article Who Discovered America? So again, if you highlighted, that's going to be super easy. Who does the author think discovered America? Were you gone yesterday? Oh, you were doing the reading, that's right. Or not the reading, the note. So, number 1 here, is number 1 asking you for textual evidence? No. Does it say use textual evidence? No. So I can just write in here, Prince Henry the Navigator. I'm even going to write out to the side here, not textual evidence. Honestly, if you try to give me textual evidence for number 1 and number 2, you're just going to confuse yourself more. You really just want to keep it to, just answer the question. I'm not asking you for textual evidence. I'm not asking you for a citation. I'm not asking you for any of that. All I'm asking for you to just answer the question. Okay? What was the conflicting viewpoint that Prince Henry the Navigator discovered America? What was our yellow? Olivia? Very good. Christopher Columbus. Is it you? On every quiz, test, practice, you are going to have these 2 questions. The only difference is going to be the title of the article, because you would have a different article. But everything that you do will be these 2 questions to start off. Okay? Questions about 1 or 2? Okay. Number 3. Which statement best reflects the author's response to the conflicting viewpoint? Number 3 should match number 1. Number 3 should support the author's point of view. Okay? It's a response to those people. So if you picture this, this is how I like to picture it. I like to picture it as we have a person here. This is our author, okay? We'll give her long hair. She's holding a picket sign that says Henry is the one that discovered America, okay? She's our author's point of view. Then she's got 2 people, her haters, I guess you could say, that don't agree with her. Right? We've got this person that says Christopher Columbus did, and we've got this person that says that the Vikings did. Okay? So what she's doing in number 3 here, she is responding to these two people. So number 3 must support her. So it says, other explorers accidentally found new land. Do you remember hearing that in the article? Yeah, right? If you go back to what we highlighted in green, it says that Columbus never discovered where he was, They discovered it by accident. Okay? So, do you think that letter A is a pretty good choice? Yeah, but let's look at the other 3 to make sure that we don't have a better one. Other explorers did use technology to find new land. Did they talk about the other people using technology? No. So that one we can eliminate. Okay? Other explorers used technology to find new land. Does that say the same as letter B? Yeah, we can eliminate. Okay? D. Other explorers shared information to help others. Did that happen? No. Okay, so letter A is our best choice. It must support the author. Okay? Now, number 3 and number 4 are like sisters. Okay? Whatever you choose for number 4, it's going to support what you chose for number 3. These two go together. Okay? It's kind of like a CER. This is your answer. This is your support. Okay? Think of it that way. So we have, what evidence does the author give to support the response? Most of the time, if you highlighted correctly, it's going to be whatever you highlighted in green. So let's see if ours matches. Before the invention of the caravel ship, vessels without a sail moved, Does that have anything to do with accidentally finding new land? No, we can eliminate. Okay? B. Henry trained the men, invented the technology, and shared his information so that others could go and discover new worlds in his name. Does that have anything to do with accidentally finding new land? No. Discovery implies deliberate intent. Most of the European explorers happened upon America by accident when they were trying to find Asia. Do you think that's our correct answer? It is. This ties with this. This is the C, this is the E, and this is the R. Number 5, well, I guess this one is missing a number, but this is your constructive response. Now, I want to be clear with this question, because it's going to look exactly like our sentence frame. Okay? Is the author effective or ineffective in his or her response to the conflicting viewpoint? Defend the answer by explaining how the selected evidence above supports this. Does this question ask you to provide textual evidence? Anywhere in those 2 sentences do you see provide textual evidence? No. I do not want you to provide textual evidence. You already provided textual evidence right here. This is just the R. Okay? This is you just explaining. No need for evidence, because you already chose your evidence up here. I don't need you to restate it. I read it up here. I don't need it again. Okay, I've got it. Okay? Now, when we look at our sentence frame, the author is effective in his or her response to the conflicting viewpoint because blank. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And honestly, all I'm doing is following the question. Okay, so I'm going to write the author is effective because will I ever give you an author that is ineffective in their response? No. I am not going to try to trick you by giving you an article where there is no response. I'm not going to do that. Every single time, your article will be effective. Okay? So we have the author is effective in their response to the conflicting viewpoint because every single constructed response that you give me for conflicting viewpoints is going to start off like this. Every single one. And all I've done here is I've just restated the question. That's it. That's all I've done. None of these words did I come up with. Everything I pulled from the question itself. This part, just the restate itself, is worth 1 point. Okay? The restated itself is worth 1 point. So you get 1 point automatically if you tell me that the author is effective. And remember, friends, the author is always effective because I'm never going to trick you. Okay? Now, here's where we have to make our decision. We have to decide, is this quote from number 4, is this a solution? Is this a counterexample? Or is this refuting or disproving? What do you think? I heard somebody say it. Addison? Refuting. Did they provide a solution to a problem? No. Did they provide a specific example? No. Okay? What they did was they refuted the viewpoint. So that's what we're going to say. Because they refute the viewpoint. You get 1 point for telling me which of the 3 they used. Did the video that you did on Tuesday, did it give you the acronym to remember these 3 things? Okay, I'll give that to you here in just a second. Now all you have to do is explain the textual evidence. So, we're going to start with, from our sentence frame, the author points out. And then we just need to explain what that textual evidence says. You've had several opportunities of practice for this. You did it in your informative. You did it in the CER boot camp. You've done this time and time again. Okay? All you have to do is explain how this proves that Columbus and the Vikings did not discover America. Okay? So I'm going to say, and I'm just going to do this how I would word it, but kind of you can think about how you would say it as well. I would say the author points out that Columbus and the Vikings did not intend to find America, comma, so they should not get the credit. I mean, it's kind of, it's one of those things where it's up for interpretation. I mean, this is the author's viewpoint, not necessarily ours, but it's the author's viewpoint. Your last sentence should always support the author's point of view. Okay? You are not, in this sentence, supporting the conflicting viewpoint. We are anti that viewpoint. We are not, in any shape or form, supporting the conflicting viewpoint. We are always going back to refuting or disproving that viewpoint. Okay? And you will get 1 point for that. So altogether, this is worth 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. Now I want to give you the acronym to remember the 3 things. So we've used this in the past, but this is Roy scares chickens. The R stands for refute. S stands for solution. And C stands for counterexample. That's just kind of a way to try to remember those 3 different ways that an author can respond to the conflicting viewpoint. Because you get a point for telling me one of the 3. And honestly, when I'm grading these, I'm not necessarily I'm going into it with my own kind of thought on which one it is. But if you can prove your answer and support why you chose a solution or why you chose an example, I'll give it to you. If you don't say my exact thing, that's okay. As long as you can defend your answer, I will give it to you. Okay? Do you have any questions about any of this? Addison? It is, yes. Yeah, I kind of made a little bit of a space there. But yeah, it is technically one word. It's a compound word. Okay, do you have any questions about this?